Pero ngayon, sa araw na to, para wala na tayong pagtalunan, para matapos na yung usapan, we will begin the process of turning on your transmitter by giving you a franchise until October 31, 2020. Ecclesiastes 3, verse 1 to 8. For everything there is a season, a time for every activity under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to harvest, a time to kill and a time to heal. I remember this is the favorite verse of President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. And I know that our esteemed colleagues, all of us, whether opposition or administration, cannot imagine the burden on his shoulders during these very trying times. Magandang hapon po sa ating mga kababayan at sa ating pong mga kasama sa Kongreso. It is a time of great crisis, a time of enormous danger and challenges. But it is also a time of opportunity. If we can quickly adapt, innovate, and manage in the midst of the pandemic, so time really is of the essence in everything we do. We now find ourselves in a world with much uncertainty. And it is during these times that we have to hold on to God's promise that there is a proper time for everything. To hold on to God's promise that He is here and has plans to prosper us and not to harm us, plans to give us hope and a future. Today is the time to face and defeat the invisible and formidable opponent, the new coronavirus or COVID-19. Today is a time when bonds that hold us together as a society are tested. Again po, sinusubukan po tayo ng mga panahon na to. How far does our charity go to strangers? Today is the time for people to get the assistance they need. And on this note, let me remind everyone in this chamber who worked so hard for the Bayanihan We Heal as One, that we hold the executive to its commitment that all Filipino families who are in need will be benefited by the Bayanihan to Heal as One that we passed. This is also in line with the sentiment of the President and his order to the IATF. We have been discussing this with the SWD from the start. We have made many proposals. We've been trying to help them in the implementation, and we have been exercising our oversight functions on its implementation. But let us leave that matter for another time. Suffice for it that we emphasize that this is a present and dire need of our people. Today is the time for building a new and better tomorrow, as Congress realigns its priorities towards the passage of urgent legislation that would maximize emerging socio-economic opportunities for our people, including but not limited to services, health, education, agriculture, tourism, construction, manufacturing. The latter three, agriculture, tourism, and construction, are linked to jobs, and more jobs. Including the stimulus bill, the Balik Probinsya Bagong Pag-asa Initiative, Cures Act, and the New Normal in the Workplace Act, among others. Today is a time for unity, compassion, healing, and immense faith. Today is a time to bring out the best and not the worst of us. Today is the time for answers and solutions. But to find the correct answers and to find real solutions, we have to first ask right questions. Garbage in, garbage out. Mali po tanong natin, mali po ang magiging sagot. We can't just ask what tomorrow will be. We first have to ask what is important to us today. We can't just ask how will we get through this crisis without asking ourselves, how did we get into it? And we can't just ask how we can rebuild our lives we have to ask, how can we build back better? Paano na ang mga manggagawang nag-iisip kung may trabaho pa silang babalikan? Paano po mga OFWs na may napundar na konting negosyo pero mukhang magsasara? Paano po mga OFWs na hindi siguradong makakabalik sa mga bansang pinagtatrabahoan nila? Paano po mga OFWs na kailangan ng umuwi at pinapauwi na sa bansang nag-host sa kanila pero hindi na sweldohan o halos walang naipon? Paano po ang ating mga estudyante? Hindi pa makakapag-aral? Paano ang social distancing? Kulang na nga ang classrooms. Meron pang shifting sa ibang mga eskwelahan. 40, 50, 60 ang laman ng isang classroom. May K-12 pa na nagdagdag 2 taon. Paano na po sila ngayon? Ano po ang remedyo? Ano po ang solusyon? Ano ang oportunidad? Ilan ang negosyong malulugi at magsasara? Paano po natin mabibigyan ng pagkakataon yung iba na magtayo ng negosyo o mabuhay yung kanilang negosyo o hindi masayang ang kanilang pinundar sa kanilang mga negosyo? Presyo ba ay tataas? Trabaho ba ay nandoon pa? Kita ba ay mawawala? Presyo, trabaho, kita ang nasa isipan ng ating mga kababayan. Ang mga probinsya at mga lungsod na turismo lang ang inaasahan o halos inaasahan sa kanilang kabuhayan at tourism-related industries. Paano po sila ngayon? Ni walang nagplaplano po na mag-travel o maging turista sa mga panahon na to. Ang mga padyak, tricycle at jeepney drivers na dati nang isang kahig, isang tuka. Pero ngayon po dahil sa social distancing, pihadong hihina ang kanilang kita. Ano ang mga oportunidad ang sisibol sa gitna ng trahedyang ito? At ano ang kailangan nating gawin para hindi tayo mapag-iwanan? Karamihan po sa naitanong ko po, yung pa lang po sa socio-economic, wala po dyan sa kalusugan. Maraming nag-aalala na pag tayo nag-open up, ilan ang magkakasakit? Paano kung nagkasakit? Mababayaran ba ito? Will there be enough doctors, nurses? Will there be enough health facilities? Are we ready for this? These are just a few of the serious and important questions that Congress have been grappling with even before the pandemic struck, and more so since. This is where I'd like to thank all of our colleagues led by the Majority Leader, Martin Romualdez. You did not take a vacation, hindi po kayo nagtago, inunan niyo po ang constituents niyo at tinuloy-tuloy niyo po ang trabaho during our break para po malabanan natin ang COVID-19. Sinuportahan niyo po ang administrasyon at bumunot kayo sa sarili niyong bulsa. Salamat po sa inyo. As God's creation, we have always pondered on the meaning of life. We have thought about the purpose of life, of our lives, of the lives of others. And now, policymakers and leaders in all sectors have to adapt, have to innovate, have to manage while pondering on new life. Ano ba ang magiging bagong buhay natin? On the new economy, ano magiging itsura ng ekonomiya natin pagkatapos nito? And of course, what is now being called the new normal. But important as these questions may be, we have no choice but to put them aside for the moment and deal with the franchise of ABS-CBN. And this is really where the leadership of Congress is coming from. Together with the minority, the deputy minority leaders, the deputy majority leaders, the minority, deputy minority leaders, our deputy speakers led by Deputy Speaker Pulong Duterte, this is where we're coming from. We believe that these questions require our 100% attention. Yung bagong buhay, bagong ekonomiya, bagong normal, dapat po 101% pa ang ating attention dito. Not just by Congress, but by the entire nation. If there is one thing that people remember about what I say today, about the work of government during this time, it is this: nothing can be more important to our people than the government defeating COVID-19 at this point in time. Okay po? Alam ko po, mayroon tayong spirito, may katawan. Alam po natin, gusto natin ang panghabang buhay na everlasting life, no? Through our Lord and Savior, kung ano man paniniwala natin spiritual. Pero ngayon po, death and sickness is facing us in the eye. And they are looking to the IATF. They are looking to the President. They're looking to the Senate. And they are looking to their individual members of Congress sa distrito man o sa sector nila, sa party list system natin, to tell us, ngayon po ang pinaka-urgent, bumalik po tayo sa magandang part ng old normal, pero mag-create ng magandang part ng new normal by defeating the new coronavirus. You cannot hope to weigh the value of our immediate response to this pandemic as against the concerns of a private corporation, no matter how powerful or how important that corporation is. There is simply no comparison. Yet, this is exactly what the NTC has unnecessarily forced us to do by turning back on its commitment given under oath last March 10 that ABS-CBN will be allowed to continue to broadcast. Lilinawin ko po, March 10, malinaw sa atin, opinion ng DOJ na under equity at may sapat na basihan na mag-continue mag-broadcast ang ABS-CBN. Ang Senado po, during that time, nagpahayag din po, at ang NTC mismo nagsabi. At meron din pong legal precedents. Meron na pong nangyaring pinayagan. Sabi nila ngayon, never sila nag-issue ng provisional authority, but never din po sila nag-issue ng cease and desist habang pending pa. Ang punto po, nangako sila sa atin. And we can only act based on the facts given to us. Eh kung nandito po ang DOH at mangangako po sila na tapos na ang pandemic at binago natin ang regulasyon, hindi ba tama na sundin natin po yung scientific evidence? Kung mali, hindi ba dapat sabihan tayo kaagad? By the way, ang testimony namin mali o nagbago o may bagong ebidensya na nagpapakitang bago ito. We can agree to disagree on the merits of the legal opinions of the Department of Justice, the Senate, the House of Representatives on one side, and the Solicitor General on the other. But the fact is, if only the NTC had said to us from the outset that they could not give the network a provisional authority or that they would not allow ABS-CBN to broadcast after the expiration of their 25-year franchise, then we would have not relied on their word. And this piece of legislation that we are acting upon now may have been acted upon during that time. Ang Kongreso po, ang 18th Congress po ay solusyon na naghahanap ng problema. Hindi po tayo naghihintay na may problema, bibigyan natin solusyon. Hindi po. Wala pa ho yung problema, naghahanap na tayo ng solusyon, where solutions looking for problems. That's why as early as February, we warned about COVID-19. And we asked the supporters of ABS-CBN na payagan nyo muna kaming maghanda. Nung Marso nyo lang nakita na tama kami. That is a fact, not an opinion. It is a fact that they gave their word under oath before the Congress of the Philippines. It is a fact that the NTC said they will give a provisional authority. Mag-away po tayo sa mga opinion. Dito lang po, wala pa hong 30 ang kongresista na physically present. But so far, ang gaganda ng attendance natin through Zoom, teleconferencing, may git 200, umabot ng 300. We can all have different opinions. But there cannot be more than one true fact. for one specific item, di ba? It's either true or false. And it is a fact that NTC made this statement under oath before the Congress of the Philippines. This distraction is the reason why we must not allow the betrayal of NTC and the unconstitutional meddling of the Solicitor General in this exclusive power of Congress to go unchallenged. Kung magsisinungaling lang sa atin ang mga ahensya at resource persons natin, paano tayo makakasiguro na tama ang ating mga actions? Kung yung pong may ibang opinion, magbibigay ng sikretong sulat sa mga nagtetestify sa atin at hindi ipapaalam sa atin, how can we come up with a national consensus? How can we inform our people so that they will be part of the decision? Their actions are not only an affront to this institution, it also delays the discussion and passage of crucial legislation that our people sorely need. Yes, there was some days that I did not speak about ABS-CBN. Why? Because we were talking about DSWD. We were talking about social amelioration. We were talking with the cabinet about the stimulus bill. We were talking about critical construction activities including medical centers. Ano? Tatalikuran ko lahat ng trabaho ko? Papatayan ko ng telepono o mag-exit ako sa Zoom para lang i-address lahat ng concerns tungkol sa ABS-CBN? Samantalang ang chairman naman natin ng franchise committee na si Congressman Alvarez ay napakagaling at sinasagot naman lahat ng issues. So frankly, today is really not the time for ABS-CBN. Ngunit dahil naalala ko yung laging sinasabi ng aking ama o ng tatay ko na si Rene Compañero Cayetano, he always reminded us that it is always the right time to do what is right. Then we will find the time today to do what is right. Because it was wrong for the government without notice, without due process, to stop the broadcasting of ABS-CBN, especially during this pandemic. We live in extraordinary times, but it is made even more exceptional by the pandemic that has permanently marked all of those who lived through it. Advances in online technologies, even during the period of pre-COVID-19, were already growing by leaps and bounds, have made the free flow of information to happen at a dazzling pace. Old models of media, many of which we thought were permanent, are now being complemented, sometimes even discarded, in favor of new ideas, new ways of doing things, better, faster, more efficient, more democratic. Mass communication, which has for the most of history been a one-way medium, is seeing the dawn of a new age where interactivity and interaction with the audience is no longer a novel gimmick. Dati po, kung may TV show, part po ng, hindi bang gimmick, pero part po ng attraction ng palabas na yon. Meron phone-in question, o kaya meron kang phone a friend, o kaya meron pwede mag-comment. Pero ngayon po, hindi na po ito isang gimmick. It is now a permanent part of our communication landscape. The fact that ABS-CBN is still able to broadcast its content even after its franchise had been preemptorily terminated shows that this issue is not, nor has it ever been, about silencing media nor curtailing the freedom of the press. Just look at the social networking platforms and you will see that those freedoms are alive, well, and undeniably thriving in the Philippines. Wala po tayong binubusal-salan dito. We are simply following the law that every 25 years, you have to present before Congress your case of why we should give you another 25 years. And if some, many, or even one person complains, it is our duty to hear that complain, and then judge later on. In many ways, these changes reminded me of my dad, Senator Rene Compañero Cayetano, and the lessons he taught me in life. My dad was old-fashioned, very strict. He taught us that discipline and hard work are primary virtues. But at the same time, he also saw the value in using technology to reach the people. His pioneering show, Compañero y Compañera, first on DZMM, then later on ABS-CBN, provided a valuable public service to the Filipinos who may have otherwise not been able to see, let alone afford a good lawyer. But in all this, one thing was higher above all. He always stood for what is right. Yun po ang spirit na nag-drive sa kanya. Doon sa radyo, na ipaglaban ang batas. Na yung tama ay tama at yung mali ay mali. Regardless of how hard the times were, he always pounded into us, just do what is right. Even in my younger days as a politician, when I would give him analysis about politics before making a stand, he would get angry at me and I would say, just tell me what to do. Ikaw naman tatay ko. Sasagutin niya ako, hindi. Elected ka. Hindi ka sa akin sasagot. Sasagot ka sa taong bayan. So sabi ko, ba't ka nagagalit? Nagagalit ako kasi hindi mo iniisip kung ano tama yun ang gagawin mo eh. Iniisip mo kung ano popular eh. Iniisip mo kung ano yung politics. That's where, my mentality of politics, together with my Christian belief, changed my philosophy. And during those times when we would be too hard on us, he would be too hard on us, that is when my mother came in to comfort us and to encourage us. But every time, akala namin kinakampihan niya kami dahil sasabihin niya, ganyan talaga tatay mo, talagang sumisigaw yan, talagang madaling magalit. She would always come to his side by reinforcing the idea that tama is tama and mali is mali. I guess that's the teacher in my mom, to keep teaching her children and people who she proudly called her pupils to do what is right. This is the same spirit that drives me in my work today. Discipline, hard work, innovation, and doing what is right. It's not always easy. Sometimes we have to discern kung ano tama o mali. Sometimes there are two decisions na parehong tama. May mga iba that will argue there's such a thing as least among all evils. But personally, I always try to find what is right rather than the list of two evils. So what is right? Or at least how to determine what is right? Is it not right to hear all sides before we pass judgment? Is it right to ensure that our constitutional freedoms are not just protected, but they are also strengthened? Is it right to prioritize the welfare of many over the interest of the few? Is it right to stand by your principle despite the criticism? Is it right to listen to that still, small, constant voice in your heart and mind telling you, eto tama, eto mali? Simply, is it right to do what is right? Before I continue to talk about what is right, what is the right thing to do about this issue, allow me first to address my comments to the following people or sectors. First, to the Solicitor General and the NTC. To be clear, we take no offense with your legal opinion. Pinapahalagaan namin ang opinion nyo, even if it is contrary to the DOJ and both houses of Congress and to legal precedents. What we do object to and take serious offense with is the furtive manner by which you deliberately and maliciously undermine the authority of Congress. March 10 nagsalita na mabibigyan ng provisional authority. It was only on April 30 na sumulat ang Solgen sa NTC. It was only May 3 that he made the threats to NTC public. And when the investigation takes place, we have evidence that there was collusions with some private individuals to stir up, the basis for all of this. But the point is, Mr. Speaker, we can only act based on the best information we have. And when you come to Congress, especially if you are part of the government, we expect you to tell us the truth. And if you make a mistake or change your mind, we expect you to tell us right away so that we can remedy the situation. The NTC gave its testimony and commitment on March 10. If you had any objections, Mr. Solicitor General, why did you not communicate with Congress? Why choose to remain silent for close to 2 months and on the eve of the opening of Congress, come out with your threats to the NTC? As a fellow lawyer and government worker, we should be working together and not trying to bring each other down. The media establishment, let me address this to you, mga kapatid po natin sa media. I respect that you have a stand in calling for a hearing. Katulad po ng statement ng Senate media na mga kaibigan natin. I respect that you are calling us out for our failure to do this sooner. I even respect that some of you put the blame on me, on Alan Peter Cayetano personally. But when you blindly call for the approval of the franchise, without having heard all the sides of the story, then you show yourselves not as advocates of fair and balanced presentation of the facts, as is taught in all the schools that teach journalism, as journalists are sworn to. But you simply become plain and simple propagandists. Kung hiningi niyo po sa amin na mag-hearing at mag-action kaagad, nire-respeto namin yon. Pero hingin niyo sa amin, ipasa na lang namin, pikit mata. Kayo ba, papayag kayong may isulat kayo o may broadcast kayo na hindi kayo nagfa-fact check? Kung ano lang sabihin namin, yun na lang ilalabas nyo? Diba? Hindi journalism yan. So hindi po magiging tama ang desisyon ng Congress kung we will act speedily for the sake of acting speedily. And I cannot respect that. Do not weaponize this issue for your own personal agenda. This is a disservice to the very public in whose name you claim to stand for. Again po, hindi ko po sinasabing lahat, may iilan lang. There are bad apples everywhere. No? Wala naman pong isang barrel na 100% unless you pick the apples one by one. So whether you talk about politicians, whether you talk about members of the police, whether you talk about sa media, meron po talagang may personal agenda. Pero it's our lookout na huwag magpadala sa kanila. Kasi alam naman natin kung anong tama. Some may say that they are in the service of the Filipino people. Pero sa gitna ng sakuna, gusto nyo, kayo ang unahin namin kaso sa kababayan natin. Kayo nga isang dahilan kung bakit may mga issue ang network na ito eh. Sa mata ng marami, klarong bias at pakikialam sa eleksyon na bawal sa atin batas ang ginawa ninyo at ginamit niyo yung network na ito. 2004, 2010, 2016, 2019. Tapos tatakpan nyo yan by saying it is against press freedom. Hindi po natin nilalahat ang mga journalist. Ngunit tulad din ng pagpapakita ninyo na ang lahat ng politiko ay korap, na lahat ng pulis ay abusado, damay-damay na ang buong institusyon sa maling gawain ng ito. So again, this may be a few bad eggs. But bakit po walang naging problema sa pagpasa ng franchise ng Channel 5? Bakit po walang naging problema sa pagpasa ng franchise ng Channel 7? Because wala pong tumayo at nagsabing nag-issues. If you take up, for example, Channel 7, DCBB, no? Now and then, si Igan, very popular broadcaster, criticizes me. But I have full respect for him. That's his opinion. But I never complained to management. Nung dumadaan yung franchise, I did not tell Channel 7 when I was in the Senate, boss, nakikialam kayo sa eleksyon. Why? It was simply his opinion as a journalist. And if it's correct, magbabago ako, and kung mali, di ba? Then I would tell him, I disagree with you. And he'd invite me again to his show. But that was not the case with ABS-CBN. And we deserve a hearing to be able to hear that. Yes, it might be unfair to Carlo Katikbak and Mark Lopez, the new management, because this happened during another era, no? But they're asking for a extension. They want a new franchise that will let them continue their media empire. Thus, accountability. Kung may negosyo po ako, pero yung negosyo ko po na yun may ginawang mali, binili na po ni Rani Abu ang negosyo na yon. Pag hinabol po ng BIR, hindi lang ako ang hahabulin, siya din. Siya na may-ari nung ano na yun nung negosyo na yon. So it might be unfair kung tinago ko sa iyo yun, Honorable Deputy Speaker Abu. But you still have to face the consequences. So if the government is removing your license, you have to answer. No? And we have to see what are the reforms that you will put in place. Now, if the network is confident that mali, these are false accusations, misunderstandings, these are ramblings by many of our kababayans, then let the people judge habang naghihiring po tayo. To the celebrities of ABS-CBN, yes, marami kayong fans dito sa Congress. But please be reminded that loyalty to the company that has given you a good life is important. But you cannot cry injustice and blame public servants when you lose your paycheck or your show, yet not take notice of the fact, yes, the fact that there are grave issues against your network. These include alleged violation, again, alleged violations of labor laws, tax laws, and even constitutional law, even election laws. By all means, let your voices of support for your network be heard. By all means, sabihin natin sa kababayan ang mga magandang nagawa ng network. But if you really want to join the public debate, find it in your heart, find it in your indignation to also support due process and fact-finding as the issue is imbued with public interest, not just your interest. I understand it's hard for any employee to speak against the company that it serves. But there are employees who are speaking out against ABS. And this is the only time that they will be listened to. Every time na may 25-year franchise renewal, doon lang pinapakinggan . Yes, you have the courts, you have the labor arbiters, but how long does that take? And if it shows a pattern, hindi naman magde-decide ang labor arbiter about that di ba? Yung social justice po, kasama po yan sa franchise. Kasi public utilities po ito. Some of my colleagues, some lang po to. Yes, this bill is important, no question about that. But is it so important that you would lose all sense of objectivity and propriety? Again, is it so important that you will lose all sense of objectivity and propriety? How dare you belittle the tremendous work this Congress has done in the past 10 months? Shame on you for insulting your own house and colleagues and calling your colleagues inutil and tamad. Despite having passed the 2020 General Appropriations Act, the Bayanihan to Heal Us Act, as one act, postponing the 2020 Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections, which turned out to be the right thing to do. Imagine kung mag-election tayo during these times. The law for establishment of Malasakit Center, increasing and restructuring excise tax rates on alcohol, heated tobacco, and vapor products that are now helping our government coffers and helping the health sector. Corporate Income Tax and Incentive Rationalization Act, CITIRA. The Passive Income and Financial Intermediary Taxation Act, PIFITA. The creation of the Department of Filipino Overseas and Foreign Employment, the Real Property Valuation and Assessment Act, the creation of the National Academy for Sports, the salary standardization of 2019, extending the 2019 budget to include the teachers and nurses and other things, which, by way, 8 of these 10 that I have mentioned are part of the legislative priorities announced by the President noong 2019 SONA. And kung sino pa itong isa, dalawa o tatlo na tinawag tayong tamad at inutil, hindi ba kayo naman ang nagsasabing bukas na lang yan? Hindi ko pa nabasa yung bill na yan, I need a day more. Wag muna yung Malasakit Center, next week na yan. Wag muna yung Department of Overseas, next week na yan. Ngayon na kami nagsasabi na mas importante ang COVID-19 at paano natin i-defeat. Now na we're saying that feeding the people is more important, sasabihin nyo sa amin, forget everything, forget due process, and in one instance, ipasa na lang yung 25-year franchise. Let the people judge sino sa atin ang nagsasabi ng totoo at sino ang tama. To the senators, allow us to do our jobs. Remember, it is always easier to get 24 people to agree than for 300. Remember, we represent specific constituencies and sectors, and that is why the Constitution provides that franchise bills, like appropriations bills, will emanate from the House. But franchise bills enjoy the constitutional prerogative of exclusively emanating from the House. So we respect your work. But iba pananaw natin eh. National yung sa inyo, sa amin may national, pero nasa grassroots kami. Tinetext kami, pinupuntahan kami sa bahay, sa district office ng mga constituents namin. We want to work with you. We have to work with you. We've done great things together with you, our dear senators. We have to build our nation, but respect our timing and the manner of us holding our hearings. In other words, let's all play nice. Let's not just pretend to be nice to each other. Sa mga dilawan, nothing I say will make you agree with me. You don't even agree on the facts, simply because you think your opinions are law and are always correct. Former Senator Trillanes and you deserve each other. Kayo na lang mag-usap. Pero konting advice, and take it from me, don't disagree with him, papatayan kayo ng mic. Sa mga DDS o diehard Duterte supporters, I know you want to shut down ABS-CBN. Believe me when I say I hear you. Many in this August hall hear you. Congress hears you. As a friend and political ally of the President, part of the purpose of having this hearing is to make sure that history will judge our actions as just, na may hustisya po. And that the world will not blame the Duterte administration in case the franchise application is denied. So it's only by having these hearings where we will be able to justify to our people now and where history can look back and say, tama pala na binigay niyo yung franchise in 25 years. Or mali pala, dapat pala hindi niyo binigyan. O tama pala na hindi niyo binigyan. Or maybe some amendments to it, depending on what we find out during the hearings. I was the one who filed the application for a temporary restraining order and spoke against ABS-CBN during those crucial moments before the 2016 elections. I have not wavered that the network has to be held accountable. But true accountability can only flow from fair and thorough hearings. Di po tayo pwede mag-road rage dito. Kahit mali po yung kotse na nag-cut sa'yo, pag hinabol mo, kinat mo rin, nilabasan mo ng barel, ginulpi mo, mali ka pa rin. Di ba? May traffic enforcer at meron pong paraan ang traffic enforcer na interviewin to get due process from all of them. So allow our majority leader, allow the House leadership na mag-traffic kung anong mas mahalaga sa panahon na ito. But again, without any injustice to anyone. Lastly, to the management and employees of ABS-CBN, Alam po namin na sa panahon ng COVID, marami po ang umaasa sa balita ng ABS-CBN. At kahit naman may iba pang stasyon, may mga bahagi pa rin ng Pilipinas na inaabot lang ng isang network ng ABS-CBN. Wala naman siguradong makakatanggi na tumutulong ang ABS-CBN sa efforts ng local at national government. Kabilang sa DOH, IATF, DILG at iba pang ahensya ng gobyerno at local government units, tumutulong ang ABS-CBN upang maibsan ang epekto ng COVID-19. That goes the same with the other calamities. Nandito po si Majority Leader Martin Romualdez. Ted Filon is in the building. ABS-CBN was there during Yolanda and helped rebuild. We also know that ABS-CBN was there when yung lugar po ni DS Rani Abu, ang lugar po ng ating mga kababayan Batanggenyo, was ravaged by the explosion of Taal. So, hindi po namin tinatanggal yan sa network nyo. Hindi lang sa panahon ito, kundi sa iba pang mga sakuna at trahedya ng mga nagdaang taon. Nandun po kayo. Ngunit sa kabila ng lahat ng ito, kailangan pa ding sagutin ang mga katanungan ng mga tao. Ang konstitusyon sinasabi na kailangan ng renewal ng franchise. And this is the time to ask the questions. There is no question that you have been part of nation building, part of the Philippine history, part of who we are today. But as you yourself have said through your officers, you are not perfect. You are not a perfect network. And I agree. Why do I agree? Wala naman pong perfecto talaga, Diyos lang. No one is perfect. And that is why we need these hearings. If it is done properly, we will emerge stronger and unified, having laid to rest one of the most politically charged issues of our time. But to do this, we need everyone's cooperation, understanding, and open-mindedness. You know, the most politically charged issue during the time of creation and paradise was Adam and Eve partaking of the forbidden fruit. Di po ba? Kung meron media po noon, yun po ang headline. Eva, kinaan yung mansanas, binigay kay Adan. Di ba? Hindi ko alam paano i-feature yung ahas doon. But what did the Lord do, who is all-knowing? Sinabi ba niya, I condemn you? Sinabi ba sa inyo, mali, etc.? Hindi ba nagtanong muna siya, Adam and Eve, what did you do? Why are you hiding? Why are you ashamed? So is it too much to ask that you give Congress the opportunity to do the same? To ask all sides. Ano ba ang tamang ginawa ng ABS? Why should we give them another 25 years? Ano naman ang mali nila na dapat tanggalin natin sa kanila? Paano naman empleyado nila? Paano ang investments nila over the last 25 years? Totoo bang nakialam sa eleksyon o hindi? Importante ang freedom of press. Pero hindi ba importante din na ang eleksyon natin is free and fair? Na kahit sinong Pilipino, may pera man o wala, may equal chance? Pero if you only have 2 giant networks in our country and 95% of our people watch your news and you can sway who you want them to vote for by just using one network, isn't that as much a threat to democracy as damaging the freedom of the press or freedom of speech? I echo the words of President Rodrigo Roa Duterte when he tells you, ABS-CBN, and also all the members of media, simply do your job. Do not fear, do your job. Call out injustice and corruption whenever you see it. Protect the weak from the powerful and give voice to the voiceless. This is your mandate. Kahit dito sa Kongreso, kung anong maling gagawin dito, i-report nyo. To speak truth freely and fearlessly to power. But beware, yes, beware, that you do not become the power that you hope to check. Huwag nyo din po i-underestimate ang power ninyo. Because kapag ginamit niyo yung network para sa injustice, multiplied to 1,000,000 times over. Walang laban din po ang biktima ng injustice sa inyo. Magkamali lang kayo sa news sa pangalan o yung bahay, sira na reputasyon ng isang tao. Hindi na madaling ibalik yun. Some of your reporters, and let me emphasize again, some reporters or in the newsroom of ABS-CBN repeatedly say, di ba sabi mo, ikaw mismo ang mag-on ng transmitter kung sa pilitan isasara ang istasyon. Yes po, I said that right outside this hall. I said it based, of course, on the premise and on the promise of NTC and on my consultations na hindi isasara. But I did say it, na pagka pinatay, ako mismo mag-on. Pero ang sagot ko sa hamon nyo, hindi ba voluntarily pinatay nyo yung transmitter nyo? Wala pa naman nag-enforce dun Pwede naman kayo pumunta sa korte. Pwede kayong humingi ng temporary restraining order habang nagro-broadcast pa kayo. Notice pa lang na sa inyo, order. If the order is illegal, padalan mo ako order sa bahay na lumayas ako sa bahay ko. Alam kong bahay ko yon. Pupunta ako sa korte, hindi ako voluntary alis sa bahay. But I respect yung diskarte nyo. Yan ang naging strategy, yan ang decision nyo. Maybe you wanted to humble yourself before the law. Maybe gusto nyo magpaawa. Hindi ko alam. But I respect your decision. But kayo sa ilan lang naman, na paulit-ulit play, sinasabi, sabi mo, i-on mo Paano ko i-on kayo nagpatay? Pero ngayon, sa araw na to, para wala na tayong pagtalunan, para matapos na yung usapan, we will begin the process of turning on your transmitter by giving you a franchise until October 31, 2020. And we will not pass the buck. We will have the hearing, tatapusin namin to, at tao ang mag-judge kung dapat kayo bigyan o hindi ng prangkisa. Through this measure that we have filed today, I am now sponsoring, we will provide ABS with a provisional franchise or with a franchise, a full-blooded franchise with limited period until October 31, 2020, within which both the House of Representatives and the Senate will hear the issues being raised for and against the renewal and assess with complete impartiality and fairness whether or not the network shall be granted a franchise for another 25 years. We cannot, in good conscience, sweep the accusation under the rug and proceed as if nothing happened. As we have always promised, these hearings will be fair, impartial, and above all, thorough. Again, mga kababayan, ang issue po ng Kongreso, timing lang po at fairness. Timing po. I was not willing to sacrifice the budget, the relief sa Taal, the relief that was going on sa tinamaan po ng mga lindol sa Mindanao. I was not willing to sacrifice po yung much needed taxes na it ends up we needed it much more than we thought before because of this COVID-19. No? So timing and also fairness. Di ba? Hindi naman pwede pong i-grant o wag i-grant nang hindi natin pinapakinggan lahat. Whatever the outcome of these hearings will be, there will be reforms. There must be not just a new, but a better normal. Not only for ABS-CBN, but for the entire media industry. And not only for the media, but for us public servants. Kahit po dito tayo sa Kongreso, there has to be reforms. Crisis brings out the best and worst in people. But as Filipinos, I ask each one of you, can't we talk about what we believe in without bringing others down? Kailangan ba natin mag-insultuhan? Kailangan ba natin mag-alaskahan? Kailangan ba natin tawagin ang ibang tao na tanga o bobo? Can't we lift each other up with and in our debates? At this time of great peril, when the whole world is on the brink, it is really too much to ask that we hold off on the discussion of this issue and issues that are divisive, at least until we're able to take care of each other. So let me make it clear. Baka sabihin ng iba, pagkatapos mong sabihin XYZ about many people, sabihin mo, let's lift each other up. No, I recognize that every time we're put in a situation that very divisive ang ating issue, Let's talk today about death penalty. Hindi tayo magiging divided. Let's talk today about divorce. Let's talk about abortion. Let's talk about constitutional change, federalism, which I very much believe in. Hindi ba magiging divisive? So ang sinasabi ko po, iwasan po natin ang pwedeng iwasan na divisive so we can take care of each other para hindi mapusok ang ating kalooban, para naman po, okay lang sana alaskahan eh. Let's make each other laugh. Di ba? Pero yung mag-insultuhan po tayo, panoorin niyo po ang ibang bansa. US, Spain, Italy, China, sa nangyayari. Hindi ba bawat galaw nila, pati politika nila? Look at the US, for example, and this is my personal opinion, and I have great respect for the American system. But right before COVID, nag-impeachment sila. So imagine that time na imbis na nag-impeachment, nag-uusap sila, Republican at Democrats, Presidente at Congress, how to deal with COVID. They'd be in a much better place. So I don't want to look back in history and say, you know what, dahil popular sa ganito, binigay na lang namin yung 25 years. Or I don't want to say, because sila naman talaga may kasalanan, wag na natin ibigay. And then we look back in history and say, this could have been the time that we got united. Because even EDSA 1, 2, even if you include EDSA 3, there was people power, but we were not united. It's more that there was a majority opinion over a minority opinion. Can we not now come up with a consensus? A consensus so that we can move in leaps and bounds and take care of our people. Some say that politics is the art of getting and doing what is popular. Some say it is the science of avoiding what is difficult. The 18th Congress says to our people today that politics is the commitment to doing what is right. And definitely now more than ever, we have to do what is right for our people, for our nation. God bless Congress. God bless the Philippines. Salamat sa ating mga colleagues.